What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Talk. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hansey, joined tonight by the man, Jay Lonzo. How are we doing tonight, Jalen?
Listen, all is well in Yankee world, universe, land. Couldn't complain even if I wanted to, Pat.
You know who else can't complain? Andrew Velazquez. Bro, he has bursted out on the scene like it's nobody's business, taking the Bronx by storm. He's got his whole family at every game. He's a Bronx native. Bro, you love to see him just raking for the Yankees. We have so much to talk about as far as he goes, just emerging out of the cornfields, basically. But before we get into that, everyone be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. You guys already know the deal. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, so stay tuned for all that content as we head into the postseason. So Andrew Velazquez bursting out on the scene for the Yankees, bro. To be honest with you, like as a spring training invite this year, we kind of looked at him as honestly a guy that we weren't expecting to see at any point in the Bronx, right? We were kind of viewing it as maybe Andrew Velazquez appears with the Yankees if something seriously goes wrong, right? If everyone in the infield gets hurt, everyone gets COVID, I don't know. But he's kind of emerged in the absence of Gleyber Torres and kind of made his presence felt. Huge series against the Boston Red Sox. If you kind of look at his last 7 games here, which is only 14 at-bats, but still, he's batting .357 with a .500 slugging. And I think him being so clutch is really kind of what's turned everyone's heads, right? Especially in that big series against the Red Sox. Multiple key hits that have either A, broken a tie, or B, given the Yankees a lead. He's just come through in big situations. And also, what people kind of are turning their heads at about Andrew Velazquez appearing out of nowhere is his defense. His defense is spectacular. He's making plays that we would have never expected Gleyber Torres to make in 1,000 years. Just like bringing up that Red Sox series, the play he made for the final out to get the sweep of the Red Sox. That's a play that I guarantee you Gleyber Torres would not make. So I think like now, like all of these things considered here, what is like his future with the Yankees? Because personally, I don't necessarily see him like having a major future. I don't even really see him having a fit on the playoff roster. However, I do want to make this point, but before we get your take on it, I do see him having a fit if he continues playing out of his mind. But I think it all depends on whether or not he continues playing out of his mind.
Yeah, I mean, listen, baseball's a weird game, right? So it always seems like the Yankees have all these pieces on, especially on offense, right? We always get all these guys, or we make a big trade, or like 2019, we traded for Edwin Encarnacion, and we're like, well, how is everyone going to fit on this team? Stan's supposed to be our everyday DH. Things end up working themselves out. That seems to always happen, especially this year. We obviously go out and we trade for Joey Gallo, we trade for Anthony Rizzo, and kind of thinking how do we fit all of these guys back into the lineup once everyone's healthy? And here we go with 20 COVID IL cases,
Yeah.
right? So things kind of seem to work themselves out. So obviously, if Andrew Velazquez, the last person anyone was thinking of, as far as key contributors to this 2021 Yankees roster, if he continues to play the way he's playing, he's going to find a way to be put into the lineup. Like that's just how baseball works. And really the Yankees, that's how they operate, right? Is what have you done for me lately? If you have the hot hand, we're going to ride with you. However, baseball is also a very humbling sport. And although he's having the time of his life, the time of his career right now, at some point, he's going to regress to the mean, and we're going to remember why he's a journeyman in the MLB. And I think that's okay. That doesn't mean, and that doesn't mean that he's going to, he's going to be a terrible baseball player, but he is probably not going to have a future with the Yankees having a starting job, especially at shortstop. And I don't think that that's how the Yankees envision him either. And I don't think they're looking at this like, okay, maybe we have the shortstop of our future. When I think of Andrew Velazquez's future with the Yankees, I think of 2 words. Well, they're not really words, more of a first name and a last name. Thairo Estrada. I can definitely envision the Yankees using Andrew Velazquez like Thairo Estrada, where he's kind of an organizational depth piece, where the Yankees are going to have injuries at some point in their year. When you have a guy as versatile as an Andrew Velazquez, keep him in AAA if he's willing to be there, which it seems like he is. If he knows he's going to potentially have a shot on the Major League roster at some point, he was willing to go to AAA. He knows the Yankees took Gio Urshela and had him in AAA for, I think the Yankees had Gio Urshela in AAA for at least a year. I'm not too sure 100%, at least a few months.
A little bit less.
Maybe the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
and he knows Andrew Velazquez. He said it himself. He saw what they did with Gio, and he's hopeful that they can do something similar with him. Maybe increase his power a little bit. Um, if he's willing to do something like that and stick around and be somebody who can be called up at a moment's notice and contribute right away, listen, I think he has a lane there. He's not
Yeah.
really this guy that's been a starting shortstop, locked into a long-term deal elsewhere to the point where he, has so many other teams wanting him. I'm sure after this last week, teams are going to be interested, but I definitely think there is a lane for him to be a part of the Yankees' future plans.
Yeah, and let me say this: like we're kind of looking at Andrew Velazquez, right? You're kind of comparing him maybe to like former names like Gio Urshela, how they kind of just rose out of nowhere, right? And I think two names that I kind of want to mention as well that can either make or break Velazquez's future with the Yankees, because I think it's definitely possible that he has a future. While it is kind of looking a little bleak, even though he's playing out of his mind, I'll say this right now: the only thing that can prevent him from like being the Yankees utility man off the bench is Tyler Wade, who unfortunately for Velazquez is playing out of his mind as well. Tyler Wade has been one of the best hitters on the Yankees over the past few weeks as well, and I don't think a lot of people are realizing that. If Tyler Wade was performing like garbage right now, there's a very good chance that we could look into like a postseason roster scenario where Velazquez would take over for Wade, because he's very versatile as far as the infield go, and apparently, I'm not sure how true this is, I think that he also played outfield in the minor leagues as well, so he's a little bit versatile in that sense. So I think that the rise of Tyler Wade kind of hurts Andrew Velazquez as well. It kind of takes a little bit of playing time away from him once the Yankees infield is fully healthy. And also another name that I want to bring up that could also kind of help Velazquez and his kind of bid for some major playing time when they're healthy is Gleyber Torres, and how disappointing he's been this season. I'm going to be honest with you, Jalen. Like, I know I'm not the only one to say this. I'm not necessarily looking forward to Gleyber Torres coming back the same way I would look forward to like Gleyber Torres coming back in 2019. We haven't necessarily seen Gleyber Torres like perform at his A+ potential since 2019. So I think the fact, like, let's say Velazquez keeps this up for another 2 weeks, let's say when Gleyber Torres comes back, hypothetically, and Velazquez is still hitting like 400 over his last 2 weeks, I wouldn't be shocked for the Yankees to like still give Velazquez somewhat everyday at bats at shortstop. And I'm not saying at all that he's going to take over the starting shortstop for Gleyber Torres, but I'm just saying it could be a solid way for the Yankees to apply pressure to Gleyber by saying, you know what, like we have this dude Velazquez who's a switch hitting, speedy shortstop who's also hitting the ball in the gap too and kind of getting the job done whenever you need him to. Gleyber, if this is what you need to kind of wake up and start to play better, maybe that's what the Yankees could use Velazquez as well.
Listen, bro, it's not completely out of the question for the Yankees to do something like that. They've done it in the past. If you look back just to recently to 2018, where you had what should have been the Rookie of the Year, Miguel Andujar, and he took Brandon Drury's spot after Drury had I believe he had like some kind of concussion issues and
I
vision
think it was
issues.
like migraines, yeah.
Yeah, he had migraines, and Andujar stepped in there, won the job.
Yep.
Andujar goes down with an injury. Guess who comes up? Gio Urshela. And Gio Urshela has not let go of that job since. And I don't think any Yankee fan will tell you any differently that they see Gio Urshela as our third baseman of the future, at least for the next maybe 4 to 6 years.
Yeah, for sure.
So
For
who's to
sure.
say that? And listen, it's been a week. I know people can get a little bit excited and jump the gun a little bit, maybe. No one is here saying Andrew Velazquez is here to stay over Gleyber Torres long term. But it's not completely out of question for the Yankees to do something like that where, a guy goes down with an injury and Gleyber was playing decently well right before he went down with his injury. He had a nice little hit streak. He was driving the ball the other way, playing better defense, which is a huge thing about Gleyber, stealing more bases, things that all are really important. And credit to him for making that change around that change and those adjustments to his game. But we've seen it before where a guy will go down with an injury, maybe not even playing that bad, but a guy will come in like Andrew Velazquez with their hair on fire and just take over.
I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see kind of what happens over this next month or so. But with that being said, listen, we love Andrew Velazquez, Bronx boy. You love to see him flourishing in the Bronx. Now I guess time will tell whether or not he has a serious future with the Yankees. It's definitely possible he could, but it's definitely possible that he doesn't as well. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But with that being said, everyone be sure like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. You guys know the deal. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, so stay tuned for that content. Also, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.